If you guys loved it so much, how come not a dime from any of you?
Get set for a wild ride with unstoppable and charming Kevin O'Leary. This shark knows how to swim with the giants and has piled up a treasure along the way. Starting as a Canadian entrepreneur, Kevin conquered the tech world by creating a software company that he sold for an enormous $3.7 billion. But that was just the start. He continued to invest in loads of businesses and even became a TV star on Shark Tank, where he's famous as Mr. Wonderful. Kevin doesn't talk a lot, but when he does, everybody listens.
You've got a real business, but you're a pig. You're greedy.
He's made amazing deals on Shark Tank, like with Groovebook, which Shutterfly bought for $14.5 million. And don't forget about his investment in Zipz Wine, which changed the wine world. While Kevin gives advice, he's honest. He's all about the numbers and making smart, calculated decisions. Just like he says, quote, "Don't do something you love. Do something that's going to make you money, because then you can do all the things you love." So whether you like him or not, you can't deny that Kevin O'Leary knows what he's doing. Get ready to see him in action on Shark Tank, and who knows, maybe he'll even make you an offer you can't say no to. Kevin's story begins in Montreal, Canada. That's where he was born in 1954. He attended the University of Waterloo, where he earned a degree in environmental studies and psychology. After graduation, Kevin started his first business, a small software company that eventually evolved into The Learning Company, which was sold to Mattel for $3.7 billion in 1999. Talk about a huge win. But Kevin didn't stop there. He went on to invest in numerous businesses, becoming a venture capitalist and making his mark on the tech industry. He also had fun as a judge on the Canadian version of Dragon's Den before joining Shark Tank. Now let's talk money. Kevin has an estimated worth of $400 million, making him one of the richest people in Canada. But how did he make all of that money? Let's look closer at some of his best investments on Shark Tank. One of Kevin's biggest successes on the show was Groovebook, a mobile app for making and printing photo albums. Kevin invested $150,000 for 80% of the company, which was bought by Shutterfly for $14.5 million. That's a return of almost 10,000%. Another great investment was Zipz Wine, a company that makes single-serve wine glasses. Kevin invested $2.5 million for 10% of the company, which became a game changer in the wine world. But Kevin's success isn't just about the deals he's made. It's also about the advice he gives to people starting businesses. Here are some of his top tips. First up, follow the money. As Kevin would say, quote, "It's all about the Benjamins, baby," end quote. If you don't have a clear path to profitability, you're dead in the water. Investors want to see a company that can make money and make it fast. So if you're starting a business, make sure you have a solid plan for generating revenue. Next, know your numbers. If you can't read a balance sheet or a cash flow statement, you're in trouble. Kevin loves to drill down the finances of any company he invests in, and he wants to see entrepreneurs who can do the same. So, if you want to impress Mr. Wonderful, brush up on your accounting skills. Moving on to the pitch, you've got to be able to sell your idea and sell it well. As Kevin says, quote, "If you can't explain your business in 90 seconds, I'm not interested," end quote. So work on your elevator pitch and make sure you can explain your product or service in a clear, concise, and compelling way. Now, let's talk about negotiating. Kevin loves a good negotiation, and he's not afraid to play hardball. If you want to do business with him, you'd better come prepared to haggle. But here's the thing, negotiation is an art, not a science. You've got to be willing to give a little to get a little. Next up, taking risks. Kevin loves entrepreneurs who are willing to take calculated risks in order to grow and succeed. But there is a catch. It's got to be a calculated risk, not a reckless one. So make sure you've done your homework and be prepared to back up your decisions with data and research. Finally, the exit strategy. Kevin is all about the exit. He wants to know how he's going to get his money back with a healthy return. So make sure you have a clear plan for how you're going to exit the business, whether it's through an IPO, a sale, or some other method. One thing that sets Kevin apart from the other sharks is his love of royalties. He's a big believer in licensing deals, where he invests in a product and takes a cut of the sales in perpetuity. It's a win-win for both entrepreneurs and Kevin, since the entrepreneur gets funding without giving up too much equity, and Kevin gets a steady stream of income. But let's not forget that Kevin has made some not-so-great investments on the show as well. Who can forget his ill-fated investment in the gourmet popcorn company Wicked Good Cupcakes? Spoiler alert, it didn't end well. But hey, you win some, you lose some. That's the nature of the game. Remember his not-so-good investment in Wicked Good Cupcakes? Spoiler alert, it didn't end well. But hey, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's just how the game goes. So what can we learn from Kevin's investing style? Well, for starters, it's important to stick to your values. Kevin is all about the numbers and stays true to that idea, no matter what. He's not scared to take risks, but he's always checking everything first. And when it comes to negotiating, he's a master at being tough. In short, he's the kind of shark you don't want to mess with. But Kevin is more than just a smart businessman. He's also really funny. He likes to tease the other sharks, like when he called Mark Cuban a goldfish for not investing in a deal. And who can forget his famous line, "You're dead to me," which he's used more than once on people who have upset him. From his love of royalties to his funny catchphrases, Kevin is one of the most entertaining and unforgettable sharks on the show. But he's also a really smart investor with a lot of successful deals. Some of his best hits include investments in companies like Plated, Bottle Breacher, and Talbot Teas.